Your cart looks innocent until the cheap thing asks for a second purchase, a discount charger, a $1 trial, shoes that feel fine under store lights, the grocery pack with the lowest unit price. At checkout, each one looks responsible because the first bill is small. But cheap and affordable are not the same word. Affordable means the total cost stays low after you use it, repair it, replace it, cancel it, fuel it, store it, and live with it. Cheap means the first price looked low for one moment. Here is the rule before the list starts. If the cheap version makes you buy twice, drive farther, throw more away, pay a fee, or lose time every week, it was not cheap. It was the first payment. This is not a video about buying the expensive version of everything. That advice is lazy. Sometimes the cheapest version is the right one. Because you barely use it, cash is tight. Or the premium version is just decoration. The better question is smaller. What bill comes next? So here are 12 normal things that look cheap, but often cost more later, and the replacement rule for each one. The goal is relief. By the end, you should be able to spot real savings from fake savings without turning every checkout line into homework. Item 1 is the one everyone recognizes after it fails once. Item 1. The cheap version you already suspect will fail. You know the object. The bargain charger with the loose plug. The kitchen gadget that bends the first time you press on it. The backpack zipper that feels rough in the aisle. The tiny appliance that sounds tired before it has done any work. The fake saving starts with one sentence. It is only $12, so it does not matter. It matters. If $12 becomes $12 again, then $25 for the version you should have bought, plus the annoyance of needing it exactly when it quits. The repeat cost rule is simple. If the item protects your time, your body, your food, your work, or another expensive item, do not buy the weakest version just because the tag is low. That does not mean buy luxury. It means buy the boring middle when failure is expensive. A phone cable that fails can mean a dead phone before a long day. A cheap wrench that slips can damage the thing you are trying to fix. A weak bag can turn one commute into a sidewalk cleanup. Ask it plainly. If this fails, am I irritated, stuck, late, or forced to replace fast? If yes, cheap only counts if it is durable enough. Look for basic proof. Reviews that mention long use, a return window, replaceable parts, a known material, or a design that feels solid in your hand. If no, buy cheap without guilt. Party decorations, one-time costume pieces, a gadget for one tiny job, a container that will sit on a shelf and behave. Low price is real savings when the job is low stakes. Takeaway. When failure creates another purchase, the price tag is not the price. The price is how many times you have to buy it. Item 2. The cheap trial that becomes a normal bill. A $1 a month is not dangerous because $1 is a lot of money. It is dangerous because doing nothing can quietly count as yes. That is the subscription trap in plain English. Knock takes 10 seconds because the first price is tiny. The real price starts later, after the free window, the discount month, or the intro period. If cancellation is harder than sign up, the cheap trial becomes a small leak. The replacement rule is not never try subscriptions. The rule is never start a trial without an exit. Before you tap start, choose one. Cancel immediately if the service still lets you keep the trial. Put the renewal date on your calendar for 2 days before billing. Or only start the trial if you would happily pay the normal price next month. That last version saves more money than a complicated budget. If the regular price would annoy you, treat the trial like a bill already trying to happen. This works because normal people are tired. They forget. They postpone tiny admin tasks. Then a harmless intro offer becomes 4 months of charges for something they barely opened. The takeaway is not that every subscription is bad. Some are worth it because they replace a bigger cost, get used constantly, or make life smoother. But the cheap month is not the decision. The full monthly price is the decision. Use this test. Would I sign up today at the regular price with no discount and no urgency? If not, set the cancellation before the cheap feeling wears off. Item 3. Bulk groceries that win on unit price and lose in the fridge. The big pack looks smart. The tag says each ounce costs less. The cart feels efficient. Then half the berries soften, the greens turn wet. The giant sauce jar gets suspicious. And the freezer is so packed that dinner becomes takeout anyway. The fake saving is comparing only the unit price. The real price is the amount you actually eat. A lower unit price is real savings when the food fits your actual week. Your meals, your storage, your freezer space, your energy and the number of people at home. It is fake savings when the extra amount becomes clutter, guilt or trash. The practical rule: bulk buy boring, stable things first. Rice, oats, coffee you already drink, soap, paper goods, frozen vegetables you actually use. Shelf-stable basics. Those can be cheaper because they do not demand a perfect week from you. Be careful with bulk perishables, novelty snacks, giant condiment jars, and anything you buy because the deal feels too good to leave behind. A deal that requires a new personality is not a deal. If you do not cook salmon on normal Wednesdays, the discount salmon pack will not create a new version of you by Friday. Household food waste guidance points to planning, storage, and using what you already have. Boring, yes. Also useful because the money was already spent. Trade the 2-meal test. Before buying the large pack, name the first 2 meals where it will be used. If you cannot name them in 10 seconds, the cheap price may be handing your future self a storage problem. Takeaway. The cheapest grocery is the one that becomes food, not fridge inventory. Item 4. Skipping small car maintenance because nothing looks broken yet. This feels like saving because no money leaves today. You delay the tire check, the oil change, the weird sound, the air filter, the small warning light. The car still starts, so the choice feels harmless. But some car costs do not arrive as one dramatic repair. They arrive as worse mileage, faster wear, less safety margin, and a larger repair later. Plain rule: maintenance is cheap when it prevents a bigger bill. It is expensive when it is cosmetic, unnecessary, or sold through pressure. So the move is not to approve every counter recommendation. The move is to know which small things affect operating cost. Tire pressure is a clean example. Fueleconomy.gov says properly inflated tires can improve gas mileage by about 0.6% on average and up to 3%, and underinflated tires can lower gas mileage by about 0.2% for everyone. Side drop in average pressure. Those numbers are not flashy. That is why people miss them. Small waste becomes normal because it does not look like a bill. The practical rhythm is boring on purpose. Tire pressure monthly, fluids on schedule, warning lights looked up quickly, and a written estimate before approving repairs. If cash is tight, this matters more, not less. A cheap delay can force a rushed decision later when you have fewer options and need the car immediately. Takeaway. No bill today is not the same as no cost. For car basics, the later bill may already be forming every mile. Item 5. Keeping the old or inefficient thing only because replacing it costs money. This is where cheap gets confusing. Sometimes the frugal move is to use what you already own. Sometimes the expensive move is to keep using it. The difference is running cost. Lighting is the clean example. Energy.gov says residential LED bulbs use at least 75% less energy than incandescent lighting and can last up to 25 times longer. That does not mean every bulb swap is urgent. It means the sticker price is not the full comparison. Energy use and replacement frequency belong in the math. The same idea can apply to an old appliance, a space heater, a printer that eats ink, or any product where the cheap part is only the object sitting there, not the cost of feeding it. Replacement rule. If something uses power, fuel, filters, ink, bags, blades, or special refills, price the refills before you call it cheap. This is especially important with products sold cheaply because the company makes money later. A low-cost printer can become expensive through ink. A cheap razor handle can become expensive through cartridges. A bargain coffee machine can become expensive if the pods cost more than the coffee habit you are trying to reduce. Do not replace everything at once. That turns practical advice into a fantasy. Start with the thing that runs most often or annoys you most often. Takeaway. If an item keeps asking for energy or refills, the cheap part may be the bait. The real price is the cost of keeping it alive. Item 6. Driving across town for a small discount. This feels responsible because the shelf price is lower. Gas is cheaper over there. The store across town has the sale. The marketplace pickup is a little farther out, but the item is $20 less. Sometimes the trip is worth it. If the discount is big, the stop is already on your route, or you enjoy the errand, fine. But distance has a price even when no receipt prints for it. The car uses fuel, tires wear. Parking can cost money. Your time gets spent, your energy gets spent. And if the long errand ruins dinner or pushes you into takeout, the discount may have moved to another line. The replacement rule. Do not compare store price to store price. Compare completed trip to completed trip. The Internal Revenue Service updates optional mileage rates because car use has measurable per mile costs beyond the gas you buy that day. You do not need the tax number for your grocery run. The point is simpler. Miles are not free. Use the errand test. If the discount still feels worth it after drive time, fuel, parking, and the chance you buy extra things once you are there, go. If not, the nearby option may be the affordable one. This also applies to cheap housing, far from normal life, just at a bigger scale. Lower rent can be real savings. It can also become higher transportation cost, more car dependency, less sleep, and fewer easy options when something changes. Takeaway. A cheaper place is only cheaper after the trip is included. Item 7. Tiny monthly payments that hide the full price. This is the checkout line where the expensive thing suddenly looks manageable. Not $300 today, just a small payment every month, not the full balance right now. Just the minimum. A small payment can be useful when it is planned, interest-free, paid on time, and attached to something you needed anyway. It becomes fake cheap when the monthly number replaces the total number rule. If you would not pay the full price, do not let the small payment make the decision for you. Interest is not a moral issue. It is a price multiplier. When a balance revolves, the purchase keeps charging rent on itself. Federal Reserve consumer credit tables exist because consumer credit costs are real economic facts, but you do not need a table to feel the household version. The longer a balance follows you around, the less cheap the original purchase was. Use the receipt test. Say the full price out loud. Then, say the total number of payments. Then ask what else in your month is already waiting for money. If the payment protects cash for something urgent, and you have a payoff plan, it may be reasonable. If the payment only makes a want feel smaller, it is probably not a discount. It is a delay. Memo payments deserve special suspicion. They can keep the account current while keeping the purchase alive long after your excitement is gone. Takeaway. The monthly payment is not the price. The price is the total amount you will actually finish paying. Item 8. Running with no buffer because every dollar has a job. This one needs care because many people are not choosing a low buffer. Rent, groceries, childcare, medicine, debt, and income timing can squeeze the account until there is no easy cushion to build. So this is not a lecture. It is a warning about timing mistakes. A no buffer setup can look efficient because all the money is working. But one delayed paycheck, one early autopay, one bank holiday, one forgotten annual fee, or one repair can turn timing into a charge. The Federal Reserve Household Well-Being Report says 63% of adults would cover a hypothetical $400 emergency expense exclusively using cash or its equivalent. That means a lot of normal households have some cash slack, and a lot still do not. Fake savings hit hardest when the second bill arrives before the money does. The replacement rule: build the smallest useful buffer before chasing perfect optimization. That might be $25 that never gets touched, then 50, then 100, The amount matters less than the job. The buffer is not idle money. It is a fee shield if your bank setup makes fees likely. Change the setup before trying to become more disciplined. Turn off overdraft where appropriate. Move bill dates when possible. Put autopay on the account that actually has cushion. Keep one ugly note with annual renewals. Takeaway. A buffer does not have to be impressive to be useful. Even a small cushion can stop one cheap month from becoming an expensive mistake. Item 9. Cheap things your body has to live in: shoes, desk chairs, mattresses, work gloves, backpacks, headphones you wear for hours. Anything that touches your body all day has a different cost structure than something that sits in a drawer. The fake saving is treating comfort like a luxury every time. Sometimes it is a luxury. You do not need the fanciest version of every object that touches you. But if a cheap item creates pain, distraction, blisters, bad sleep, or constant adjustment, the cost is not just replacement. It is the quality of the hours you spend using it. Replacement rule. Spend more carefully where the item meets your body for many hours or protects your ability to work. Cheap shoes for one event may be fine. Cheap shoes for a standing job can get expensive fast. A bargain chair for a guest room may be fine. A bargain chair for 8 hours a day can make every workday worse. A thin backpack for one trip may be fine. A thin backpack for daily commuting can punish your shoulders until you stop using it and buy another one. Use the hours test. Estimate how many hours a week your body will be inside, on, under, or carrying the item. If the answer is high, cost per hour matters more than checkout price. This is not permission to overspend. It is permission to stop. Pretending discomfort is always frugal. Takeaway. When your body pays the difference, cheap can become expensive without a single extra receipt. Item 10. Choosing the cheapest coverage without reading the bad day. This can be insurance, a deductible, a warranty, a phone protection plan, roadside coverage, or any plan where you pay less now, but might pay more if something goes wrong. The trap is not choosing the cheaper monthly option. Sometimes that is exactly right. The trap is choosing it without knowing the failure scenario. Replacement rule. Before you choose the cheaper plan, read the day when it fails. Ask 3 plain questions. What would I owe out of pocket? How fast would I need the money? What happens if I cannot pay it that week? This is not legal advice, insurance advice, or a recommendation to buy every protection product offered at checkout. Many warranties are poor value. Many add-ons are priced for the seller, not for you. The point is to compare the cheap monthly price with the possible cash hit. A high deductible can be smart when you have the buffer to handle it, and the lower premium truly saves money over time. It can be painful when the lower monthly cost is the only thing you looked at, and the bad day number would force debt. For small checkout protection plans, flip the question. Could I replace this item myself without stress? If yes, skip the plan more often. If no, ask whether the item itself is too expensive for your current cash position. Takeaway: cheap coverage is only cheap when the bad day number still fits your life. Item 11. Cheap storage for things you do not use. This can be a storage unit, extra bins, a bigger closet system, a garage shelf, or even a larger apartment, because the stuff needs room. The first storage purchase feels responsible. You are not wasting the item. You are keeping options open. You are getting organized. But storage has a repeat cost. Sometimes it is a monthly bill. Sometimes it is square footage. Sometimes it is time spent moving the same box for 3 years while never opening it. Replacement rule. Do not buy storage until you decide what the stored thing is for. There are good reasons to store things: seasonal gear, equipment, records, baby items between children, inventory for a real business, sentimental items you choose on purpose. But storing things because deciding feels tiring can become expensive avoidance. Use the repurchase test. If this disappeared, would I buy it again at today's price? If yes, keeping it may make sense. If no, ask why you are paying rent, space, or attention for it. This is where cheap bins can trick you. A $10 container feels like solving clutter, but if the container protects items you never use, it may be turning a decision into furniture. Tray a date label. Put the month and year on the box in plain words. If a full year passes and the box never opens, you have better information than you had when you packed it. Takeaway. Storage is not free just because the box is cheap. Space, rent, and attention are part of the price. Item 12. Cheap convenience that creates a second cost. This is the fast replacement you buy because the real fix takes effort. The low-quality meal container that leaks in your bag. The discount umbrella that turns inside out twice. The cheap delivery add-on that saves 10 minutes but makes dinner cost like a restaurant. The bargain hotel far from the thing you came to do. Convenience is not bad. It can be one of the best uses of money when it removes a real bottleneck. Paying to save an exhausted evening, protect a workday, or avoid a stressful errand can be completely reasonable. The fake saving is paying for convenience that creates another inconvenience. Replacement rule. Buy convenience only when it removes a problem, instead of moving the problem. A cheap container that leaks does not save meal prep money. It moves lunch into your bag. A discount umbrella that fails does not save money. It moves the cost into wet clothes, a replacement, and a bad commute. A faraway hotel may have the lowest room rate, but if it adds rides, delays, and stress, the trip may cost more. Use the after test. After I buy this, what is more likely to happen next? If the answer is calmer, easier, fewer steps, fewer mistakes, or one less future purchase, the convenience may be worth it. If the answer is cleanup, replacement, delay, fees, or another errand, the convenience is fake cheap. Takeaway. Good convenience removes the cost. Bad convenience only changes the shape of the cost. Here is the whole filter. First, total cost. What does this cost after fees, refills, energy, fuel, storage, maintenance, time, and cancellation friction? Second, repeat cost. Am I likely to buy this again because the cheap version will not do the job? Third, failed cost. If this breaks, runs out, leaks, expires, hurts, or needs a fast replacement, what happens next? That is the close. Total cost, repeat cost, failure cost. You do not need a spreadsheet in the aisle. You need one pause when the low price tag creates a little too much relief. That feeling is useful. It tells you the first bill looks good. Now ask where the second bill might hide. Cheap is real when it lowers the cost of the whole job. Cheap is fake when it only lowers the cost of starting the job. So buy the cheap thing when the job is small, the stakes are low, the use is rare, or the basic version truly works. Spend more carefully when the item protects your time, your food, your body, your transportation, your cash buffer, or your ability to avoid a second purchase. The best version is not fancy. It is calmer, fewer replacements, fewer mystery renewals, less food thrown away, fewer rushed repairs, fewer purchases that were really down payments on another purchase. The next time something looks cheap, ask one question before checkout. What bill comes after this one? If the answer is nothing important, enjoy the deal. If the answer is a replacement, a fee, a repair, a drive, a refill, a worse week, or a payment that follows you around, the cheap thing may already be costing more.